Hello all, I'm Sai and you're watching The Book Dragon. Today I'm doing the mid-year book freakout tag, which is kind of a yearly ritual that we do here on BookTube, and it is also one of my favorite tags to do because it helps me to look back at the first half of the year and see what are the books that I've read and loved so far. I've done the tag in the past 2 years also. I'll try to link them down in the description, and I can't believe that it's been 6 months since 2022 started, and I know that everyone feels the same also, but this year it seems like it has been far more quicker than usual. And if I look a bit different today, it's because I'm wearing a hairband, because I'm trying to grow out my hair and I'm not able to set it properly for the video. So yeah, without any further ado, let's get into the questions right away. Question number 1. Best book you've read so far in 2021? For this, I'm going with Radio Silence by Alice Oseman. I read this far back in January, and I should say that no other book which I've read so far this year has surpassed this one for me. I'm not saying that all the other books which I read in the first half are not as good as this one, but it is just that I got connected so much with this book than I thought I would. I even heard a lot of great things about the book before I started reading it, but after I finished reading the book, I just felt like this has become one of my all-time favorite books for sure. I loved every aspect of this book, starting from the writing, plot, characters, as well as the setup in which the book takes place. I can also easily say that the main character in this one, Francis, is definitely one of the characters whom I feel so much attached to because I feel like I am represented through the character in multiple levels. I definitely want to read all the other full-length novels by Alice Oseman, and I've read 7 of her 10 published books so far. I have not read the other 3 novels alone. I'm sure that I'll be reading them by the end of the year, so Radio Silence is definitely the best book that I've read so far in 2022. Question number 2. Best sequel you've read so far in 2022? For this one, I'm going with Muse of Nightmares by Laini Taylor, which is the second and final book inside the Strange the Dreamer duology. I read the first book, Strange the Dreamer, in 2020, and after that I just completely forgot about the series. So I reread Strange the Dreamer in February or March, and then I read this one just after that. I can say that this one is not as good as Strange the Dreamer, but it is a great sequel for the book. The way in which the author has expanded the world and experimented a lot of things with the characters without changing their nature was excellent in this book, if you ask me. Rather than anything, the representation that the author brings inside the second book, which reflects our real world, is awesome. She talks about the aftermath of war and how it can pass on to generations. The trauma can pass on to generations and cause a lot of ripple effects in the future, and how it needs to be handled rather than just going to violence always was something which I loved about this book so much. If you've not read Strange the Dreamer, please do go forward and read that book and then read this one. The writing of the author especially is very beautiful. If you're a person who does not like flowery writing, I'm sure that you will not like this because it is extremely flowery and anything that can be said in a line is said using pages, but I loved it so much and it's definitely the best sequel that I've read so far this year. Question number 3. New releases you haven't read yet but want to. So the first release which I definitely want to read is one book which I've bought but I've not read yet, and it is Book Lovers by Emily Henry. I've read the previous 2 books by this author, Beach Read as well as People We Meet on Vacation, and I loved both of those books very much. They are basically just romances, but the way in which the author has written the characters and explored their lives separately and mingled them together is definitely really good in those 2 books, and I've heard extremely positive things for Book Lovers compared to People We Meet on Vacation, and some people even say that it is better than Beach Read. I'm filming this video in the mid of June, so as of now I have not finished reading the book, but I might finish reading it by the end of the month, so this is definitely a new release which I want to read. The next one is All My Rage by Sabaa Tahir, which is her latest YA book. The only reason why I have not read this so far is because the paperback is not yet available and the hardcover is extremely expensive for a young adult book. I just hope that the paperback releases by the end of this year and I can get my hands on it so that I can read the book quickly. If it does not come out this year, I'm planning to buy the Kindle version of the book and read it then. So yeah, Book Lovers and All My Rage are the 2 new releases which I definitely want to read. Question number 4. Most anticipated release for the second half of the year. My original answer for this question was actually Chain of Thorns by Cassandra Clare, but the book is not getting published this year and it has been pushed back to Jan 2023. If not for that, this is definitely my most anticipated release for the rest of the year. Since it's not getting published this year, the other one which I'm interested in reading is The Demon in the Woods by Leigh Bardugo, which is actually a Darkling backstory written by Leigh Bardugo in a graphic novel format. I'm sure that this is going to be extremely expensive and I'm not sure that I'll be able to grab the copy of the book this year itself, but if I can, it'll be just awesome because the Darkling is definitely one of the best antagonist characters that I've read so far, and the way in which Leigh Bardugo has used him in various tales is excellent. He's definitely a being who has lived for so many years, and I'm sure that his backstory will be something which is very interesting as well as juicy in many ways. So The Demon in the Woods is my most anticipated release for the second half of the year. Question number 5. Biggest disappointment. Okay, I did not expect this book to be a disappointment because I have not read any book by this author other than this one, which I have not rated less than 4 stars, and it is Gallant by V.E. Schwab. Okay, I read this book the month it got released itself as an audiobook, but it disappointed me so much. There was nothing that was great about the book except the setup. The plot as a whole itself just felt so weak for a V.E. Schwab book because she has really great premises and the way in which she executes them is kind of a hit or miss most times, and this time I can say that it was clearly a miss because it did not feel like there was was anything at high stakes at all. The representations that she brings along with the main character here is just awesome, and the way in which she has written them is also really good. But the main element of this book, if you ask me, is that plot, and the way in which that plot was so weak made this book a great disappointment for me. I loved the atmosphere, and if I had read this during the second half of the year when it is really cool, I'm sure that I would have loved the book at least for that setting as well as atmosphere. But other than that, I did not feel anything that was great about the story itself. So definitely this is my most disappointing read so far this year. Question number 6. Biggest surprise. For this one, I'm going with a psychological thriller, and I'm very grateful that I joined this book club, which I'm there on Instagram with a few other bookstagrammers, and it is Playing Nice by JP Delaney. This is a psychological thriller, and if not for the book club, I've definitely not even known about this book or even read it. Here we follow two couples whose babies have been swapped because of various reasons when they were born, and both of these couples have been bringing up the other couple's child for the past 2.5 years. Because of various things that transpire, one of the couples get to know that the child they have been bringing up for the past 2.5 years is not their child, and this baby swap has occurred. How both of these couples try and talk with each other and make an arrangement for both the kids, and what are all the things which happen as a result of that, is the premise of this book. It is extremely well written and super fast paced. I listened to this one also as an audiobook. The first 2 hours of the book I read in one day, and the rest of the entire book I read in another day itself, because I was not at all able to put down the book at all because it was really awesome. If you're looking for a very twisted yet very well written tale, definitely try this one. I'm sure that you'll not be disappointed. Question number 7. Favorite new author. For this, I'm obviously going to choose Alice Oseman. Okay, I've read 7 of her books in just one single month. I started with Radio Silence, and after I ended up loving it, I just went forward and read Heartstopper, which is just as equally nice. I can say that I'm more attached to Radio Silence compared to Heartstopper because that character speaks a lot more to me compared to any other character I've read so far. But after reading Radio Silence and reading Heartstopper, I was not able to stop reading her works at all because she has done such a great work. Especially in Heartstopper, I can definitely say that it was a great decision to adapt it to Netflix because the series was also really good. After finishing Heartstopper as well as Radio Silence, I went forward and read the 2 Heartstopper novellas also. I'm planning to make an Alice Oseman special video also. Let's wait and see when it's going to happen. So yeah, because of all these reasons, she has definitely become one of my all-time favorite authors, and I'm definitely going to read anything that she puts out. So yeah, because of all these reasons, Alice Oseman is my new favorite author. Question number 8. Newest fictional crush. The answer for this one is nothing because I don't feel that much connected to any character that I crush on them. I know that fictional crushes are a really common thing for every one of us readers to have, but so far this year I have not felt attached as well as attracted to any character that much this year. So the answer for this one is sadly no one. Question number 9. Newest favorite character. I wanted to say another Alice Oseman character, but this video is going to be full of Alice Oseman if I don't change the answers. So I'm going with Abbess Glass from the Book of the Ancestor series by Mark Lawrence. I've not read the last book, Holy Sister, yet, but I'll be finishing it this month for sure. The way in which that character, Abbess Glass, is written in the first book, Grey Sister, and then carried on in this book is just awesome. Okay, she's one character who's very similar to Olenna Tyrell from Game of Thrones. If you love Game of Thrones and the politics that happens in there, I'm sure that this series will be great for you. Especially the sisters or the nuns whom we follow here are just great in every way possible. Okay, they are trained in combat as well as magic in every way possible, and the way in which they practically use it and the way in which the author displays them to us is extremely excellent in every way possible. So far I've loved each and every character from this series, but Abbess Glass is definitely my most favorite, so I'm going with her as my newest favorite character. Question number 10. A book that made you cry. The answer for this one is going to be quite ironic because the book which made me cry is also Radio Silence by Alice Oseman. Okay, and the reason why I cried at multiple instances while I was reading this book is because I felt so much understood while reading this book. Okay, I know that I'm sounding like a broken record now, continuously saying Alice Oseman for each and every question, but this book has just affected me so deeply. That's the main reason I'm including it as the answer for multiple questions here. So yeah, again, Radio Silence is the book which made me cry also. Question number 11. Book that made you happy. For this, I'm definitely going with Heartstopper by Alice Oseman. Okay, I did not read the Heartstopper graphic novels as the physical copies first. I just went forward and read them for free on the Webtoon app. So if you're a person who's wanting to read Heartstopper but feel that the books are so expensive, please do go forward and read it for free in the Webtoon app itself because it is really awesome in each and every way possible. I don't think I need to say any reason why Heartstopper made me feel happy because it is definitely a comfort read. Okay, and everyone who has read it has said only really positive things about it so far, and one common thing which everyone accepts on for sure is that Heartstopper makes them feel happy. There are so many of you guys who also read Heartstopper after I started recommending it and also felt the same emotion. I'm just sad that there is only one more volume of Heartstopper that is going to be out and we don't know when it will be coming up. The series is also on hiatus for the next 3 months on Webtoon also, so there are no current chapters being released right now. So yeah, because of various reasons, Heartstopper is definitely the book which made me happy so much. Question number 12. the most beautiful book you've bought or received so far this year, and for this I'm going with Empire of the Vampire by J. Christoph. This is a book which I ordered far back in October of 2021 and I got it delivered almost 6 months after that in April only. But just see the cover of this book, it is just gorgeous in every way possible. I have not read the book so far because I'm waiting for the perfect season to read this, because I know that I cannot enjoy this during the summer season because of the heat. Once the monsoon starts, I'm definitely going to read this first. The dust jacket itself looks this beautiful. Now I'll just show you the naked hardcover. You can see the foiling here, right? It is also really good. My phone is not picking up the image that properly, but the amount of details on the foiling is just extremely well done. So yeah, Empire of the Vampire is the most beautiful book that I've bought so far this year. At last, question number 13. Which books do you need to read by the end of the year? There are so many books which I want to read by the end of this year, but I have some authors and books which I need to try and finish by the end of this year. And the first of all the authors whom I want to try a lot more of is Stephen King. Okay, I have like 4 to 5 Stephen King books on my shelf, and I just recently finished reading Cujo. It was really good in every way possible. It gave me everything that I expected out of the book. The main reason why I am not able to read most of Stephen King's books is because they are extremely descriptive and huge in size, so it's a bit intimidating for me, but I definitely want to read more of his books this year. The next one is the Mistborn trilogy. I read the first book alone. I want to finish that series also by the end of this year, and as I said before, I want to read the other 3 Alice Oseman books also. So yes guys, those are all my answers for the questions in the mid-year book freakout tag for this year, that is 2022, and I'll leave all the 13 questions in the description, so don't forget to leave your answers in the comments below, because I'd like to know how your reading year is going so far. And if you did enjoy watching today's video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and also share it to your friends. If you want to get more content from me, do subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching and have a great rest of your day.